opening words are by Arlen Guff. Thresholds. We cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside, and back again, from here to there. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour and in this space, we cross a threshold from our everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of possibilities. How will we be renewed by this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of beloved community? Come, let us worship together.
Con espíritu de reverencia, reconocemos que nos juntamos esta mañana en la tierra de los Kumeyaay, quienes continúan viviendo en todo su territorio. Al emprender este viaje juntos, mantengamos en nuestros corazones y mentes el pueblo Kumeyaay. In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay, who continue to live throughout their territories. May the light of this candle shine for our commitment to the Kumeyaay people and to justice and equity for Indigenous people everywhere.
I invite you to rise, embody your spirit, and join in our opening hymn, number 1010, We Give Thanks.
For this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for the times we share, in love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and those far away, for the times we share, with love and care. We give thanks for this precious day. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day.
Please be seated. Apologize for the typo, but you did beautiful hanging in there. Come on up.
Good morning. And welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in South Bay, in Hillcrest, and online. Our mission is to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world. I am Lily Brock, and I use the pronouns she, her, and I am serving as our worship associate this morning. If you are visiting, I want to extend a special welcome. We invite you to fill out the visitor card in your order of service and return it to the welcome table. If you are interested in joining us online, you can also fill out a visitor card at the link on the live stream page or in the YouTube service description. We would love to connect with you. If you've been coming for a while and are starting to feel like this is your spiritual home, consider becoming a member of this beloved community. Now is a great time to start the membership process, since our new membership blessing will be on June 8th. It's coming up. You can learn more about becoming a member at the welcome table or by contacting Valeria Aguilar, our membership coordinator.
Welcome to this space. Bring all of who you are, in all the beauty of languages and cultures, skin tones that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In all the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you live and move and experience your embodied self, you are welcome here. With all the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Join us as we live into our shared values with love at the center. We're so glad you're here. And I again invite you to rise, embody your spirit, and join in our church hymn, followed by our church aspiration. This church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to help one another in fellowship. This is our aspiration. Que el amor sea la doctrina de esta iglesia, la búsqueda de la verdad su sacramento y el servicio su oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y ayudarnos mutuamente en comunidad. A eso aspiramos. So I want to invite you this morning to help me celebrate Tony, our beloved Director of Lifespan Faith Formation. Tony, do you want to come up? So this week, Tony passed a threshold that is the culmination of over 4 years of work. He passed his interviews with the UUA's Religious Education Credentialing Committee, and he is now recognized as a leadership-level religious educator with the Unitarian Universalist Association. We are so proud of you. And we're just so grateful that you share your gifts with this community. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Good morning, friends. And it's also very good to be here with you. I brag about this congregation all the time. I just want you to know that. And now I'd like to invite any of the children or youth who'd like to come up and join me for our time for all ages. Good morning. Good morning. There's some space over here, too, if you want to sit over here. So can anybody look at Reverend Kristen or at our cloth up here and think about what we're thinking about today? What do you see on those things? Transformation. Whoa. Whoa. Maybe you should get credentialed with the youth. Yes, transformation. And what's that symbol of transformation that you might see there? You might notice Reverend Kristen has some fun stuff on today. Oh, what is that? So we're thinking about, butterflies. So we're thinking, you're right, Ron. We're thinking about transformation, and we're thinking about that in terms of butterflies. Specifically, the monarchs. And not too long ago, there was a mystery connected to the monarch butterflies, and the mystery was, where do they go? When they're not here, when they're not up here in the north with us, where do they go? They noticed that they disappeared but weren't sure where. So the story we have today is called The Mystery of the Monarchs, and I'm going to be reading it from the paper, and the pictures are up on the screens. So this is The Mystery of the Monarchs. Fred Urquhart grew up by stomping through the marsh near his Toronto neighborhood. By the time he was 8 years old, Fred was a bug man. Fred's favorite bug was the monarch butterfly. He knew its life cycle and that it needed milkweed to eat, and that in the fall, the monarchs disappeared. Fred wrote to a professor who studied butterfly migration and asked, "Where do the monarchs go?" He got a surprise answer. No one knew. Everyone knew that the monarchs migrated to a warmer place, but no one had ever seen large groups of monarchs in winter. It was a mystery, and Fred wanted to solve it. Fred went to college and studied entomology, bug science. He tried to track the monarchs to see where they went. He stamped them and sprayed them with oil paint. What a mess. Later, Fred created little tags to attach to the monarch's wings. He did this for 10 years, but still had no idea where they went. I should say here that none of those things hurt the butterflies, by the way. They said that in the book. Fred married Nora Patterson, and she helped him create a new tag that gave instructions about how people who found the monarchs with tags could help track them. But the two of them couldn't tag enough butterflies by themselves, so Nora wrote an article asking for the public to help. 12 people wrote back and said they would help. The Urquharts wrote more newspaper articles, and more people joined in. Eventually, people started finding the tagged butterflies. Fred and Nora used a big map to plot lines between where the monarchs were tagged and where they were found. Soon, people all over North America were helping. Regular people were acting as scientists. And who helped the most? Kids and teachers. Elementary and high school students all over the continent helped. Teachers brought butterflies to their classrooms and asked, "Where do the monarchs go?" It was still a mystery, but they were getting closer to an answer. The lines on the map seemed to gather toward Texas, so Nora and Fred hunted the Texan valleys and hills. Finally, they saw what looked like a big orange cloud head up and over the Rio Grande. So the Urquharts drove through Mexico and wrote to Mexican newspapers. Soon, they had people in almost every province and state asking, "¿A dónde van las monarcas?" Catalina Aguando and Ken Brugger joined Fred and Nora's butterfly family. For 2 years, Catalina and Ken drove around asking people if they've seen the monarchs. Locals told of a rugged forest filled with monarchs which arrived in late fall and left in early springtime. On January 2nd, 1975, Ken and Catalina hiked 10,000 feet up into the forest and found millions of monarchs blanketing the trees like orange leaves. They called Fred and Nora to tell them the news, and for the time being, they kept the location secret. The next year, led by Catalina, Ken, and the local mountain guides, Fred and Nora stepped into a forest of mystery. Stunned by the sight, Fred sat down on a fallen log. As he was sitting, watching the monarchs, he noticed one with a tag folded over its front right wing. Finally, almost 50 years after he started asking, "Where do the monarchs go?" He knew the answer. Aquí, here. The end. So friends, I hope like all of our friends in this story, we never give up if we experience a mystery that we really think we want to solve. Because not only is it about the transformation of the butterflies, but it's also about like experiencing that mystery and wondering why or how, and then keeping at it until we figure it out. So I wonder if you could join me up here. Those of us up here are going to stand up, and we're going to lead the congregation in our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios, universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I'll invite all of the children or youth who'd like to join me and the other leaders out on the patio, and we'll head to our groups.
As we speak of thresholds and transitions, I also name this morning with a heavy heart that we have had several deaths in our community in the last week and a half. So we are sending our love to all those who are grieving Benita Berkson, Grazina Narcus Kramer, and Kathleen Garcia Hoyler. We're in contact with their families about scheduling candles of life and memorials. We'll share those updates in the window, but just wanted this community, this beloved community, to hold all those who are in this time of grieving. We do have lay ministers available after every service who can offer a listening presence. So if you have a joy or sorrow you'd like to share, I invite you to meet with Brandon Hall after the service wearing the golden scarf. If you'd like to learn more about us and see some of the many gems of our campus, I want to invite you to take a campus tour that starts right after service today. Liz Jones can meet you right here after the postlude and will be your guide. Also, after the service today, there is a board chat in Bard Hall during social hour. Grab yourself a coffee, get some food. Board members will be sharing about and discussing the proposed amendments to the Constitution that will be voted on at the June, on the eve of the actual papal conclave. And on Thursday, May 8th at 6:30 p.m., join us for the next social justice film and discussion series facilitated by Bob Nolan. Taste of Hope explores the struggles of a workers' cooperative in their pursuit of a just and equitable workplace. Wonderful way to honor International Workers' Day and continue our commitment to justice.
One way we live our values each Sunday is by sharing our offering with the local organization working for justice. Throughout the month of May, our offering will be shared with the Interfaith Coalition for Earth Justice. ICEJ advocates for climate and environmental justice through policy and public engagement. They educate and mobilize faith communities to care for creation, love neighbors, and protect the vulnerable. You can give through text to give to 619-333-3040. You can also donate this morning in person through cash or check towards the back of the sanctuary or online at our church's website. Thank you for your generosity. This morning's offering will now be gratefully received. The Butterfly Effect by Dana Capasso. The delicate, flapping wings of a butterfly have the power to set molecules of air in motion, in turn, moving more molecules of air, a tiny act that is eventually capable of affecting weather patterns on the other side of the planet. This notion comes from a concept within chaos theory called the butterfly effect. Simply, the butterfly effect refers to a phenomenon in our world in which a small change in one place can result in equal or greater changes elsewhere. This may seem crazy, a tiny butterfly changing global weather patterns. Not only is the butterfly effect a real scientific theory, but it's also an intriguing philosophical idea. I say all of this because the butterfly effect affects the way that I live my life and the decisions that I make in a way that no ideas about God ever have. I am no meteorologist, nor am I well-versed in entomology, but ever since learning about the butterfly effect, I have been attached to it because it demonstrates an important principle that is often forgotten. Namely, each of our actions has effects that are more profound than we think. Interconnection is a major theme found in nearly all of the world's religious and philosophical traditions. The interconnectedness of our universe is also one of the most significant revelations of physics. All components of matter are interconnected, interrelated, and interdependent. Attention to interconnectivity reminds me, despite the many social political forces that work to divide us from one another, that I am never alone in this world. It reminds me that each decision or action that I make has reactions, and those reactions reverberate as waves moving back and forth across our globe. This compels me to live my life aware of the consequences of my daily actions, from the purchases I make to personal interactions with others. I certainly do not always succeed, but I try. My awareness of interconnectivity and efforts to work against the illusion of division remain my most significant spiritual practice. This spiritual practice also gives me the ability to stand in awe of interconnection, in awe of the butterfly effect and the power that comes with it. On rare occasions, I am reminded to stop and appreciate the divinity of interconnectivity revealed before my very eyes. This, to me, is awe-inspiring. This, to me, is divine.
I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. Se que abriga esta rosa y sé que mi temor se irá, sus alas mi amor desplegará. Sé que abrirá esta rosa. I know this rose will open. I know my fear will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open.
I invite you now to join me in a time of meditation. Just start by feeling into your body, perhaps taking a few deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. During our meditation, I'm going to invite you to join me on a journey. It will require using your imagination. So I invite you, whatever would help, maybe to close your eyes or lower your gaze. Start by imagining yourself as a tiny caterpillar. Yellow and white and black bands across your body. Maybe a few days old, living on the leaves of a milkweed plant. Since you've hatched, you've been eating and growing, eating and growing. Several times you've gotten so big, you've molted right out of your skin, growing into an even bigger skin. If it feels good, you might wiggle your body a little bit. Imagine growing into new skin, into a just right size body. After you've molted 4 or 5 times, you look around for a safe space, and you attach yourself with silk to a stick. You find yourself hanging upside down, getting ready to shed one more time. This time, it's different. Underneath all those skins is a final skin, your chrysalis. As you hang upside down, you feel it forming, first kind of soft, like your body. But gradually, it starts to harden, to protect you as you prepare for change. If it feels right for your body, just feel yourself drawing in, maybe tighten a bit. Feel yourself surrounded by a protective shell, your chrysalis. Inside, it's dark. Your body begins breaking down into goo, breaking down everything about you that was once a caterpillar. The caterpillar part of you does not know what is happening, but your cells know what to do. You can feel that knowledge deep inside you. Take a few deep breaths, surrendering to the knowledge of your cells and your DNA. Then imagine that out of this goo, a new body begins to form. These imaginal cells tell the goo to create vibrant orange and black wings, antenna, a new kind of body. At just the right time, usually about 10 days, you feel your chrysalis start to open. You begin to emerge, gently opening and closing your wings as they grow to your full size and begin to dry from the goo. If it feels good or right to you, you might just start to stretch your wings out, mindful of your neighbor, Just feeling into this transformation, this new body. As we come back into this space, may we honor the mystery and the wonder of the ways that we grow and change on this living planet. Blessed be.
If all the world were peaceful now and forevermore, peaceful at the surface and peaceful at the core, all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. And we can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If all the world knew justice now and forevermore, justice at the surface and justice at the core, all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. We can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. If all the world knew freedom now and forevermore, freedom at the surface and freedom at the core, all the joy within my heart would be so free to soar. And we're living on a living planet, circling a living star. I don't know where we're going, but I know we're going far. We can change the universe by being who we are. And we're living on a living planet.
Lucas and I, hand in hand, waited outside the giant greenhouse, just giddy with anticipation. At this time of the year, thousands of butterflies emerge from their chrysalis at the San Diego Safari Park. Parting the hanging dividers is like stepping into this world of magic. Butterflies of all different colors are flitting through the air. They perch on branches and rocks and feeders. You can get so close to them. You can see the patterns on their fragile wings. Sometimes a butterfly will gracefully flutter its way over to a person and land on their bodies. And everyone is standing there going, ooh, ah. It's like being blessed, and everyone is just silent and watching and drinking it all in. I just love that experience of collective awe. People of all ages transfixed by these beautiful beings. And I was particularly taken by the way they fly, erratic, but graceful, unhurried. If I was quiet enough, I could even hear the gentle flapping of their wings. In our reading this morning, we're invited to think about the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect is the theory that the smallest action, the fluttering of a butterfly's wing, can affect the weather on the other side of the planet. This idea, based in chaos theory, reminds us that the way we live matters, that the actions we take, they ripple out from us. And it's not always grand actions that make the most change. Sometimes it's the small ways in which we live our values in our daily lives that creates transformation. And this is possible because we are connected, bound together in this sacred, interdependent web of life. This is why it's possible that love can ripple out. We belong to one another and to a living planet that offers us this opportunity in every moment to influence one another in life-giving ways. This is what the butterfly effect reminds me. Although we are living through a time of tremendous uncertainty, heartbreak, and injustice, we are connected, and our actions are more profound than we can imagine. We do not know what small action that we take can create positive change for ourselves and others. We have the capacity to be human agents of love and healing and justice, and this is who I believe we are called to be as Unitarian Universalists. Now, our community, the First UU Church of San Diego, is a space where we come together to support each other on our spiritual journeys. We offer one another care and support. We ask deep questions. We challenge each other sometimes. We make space for reflection, and we companion each other on this amazing search for truth and meaning. We join together to act for justice in our local community, siding with love to heal systems and structures of oppression. And when I think about the church, this is what I believe that is our primary purpose: to be a site of transformation. Similar to the chrysalis that the caterpillar is held in during that critical time of change. In our church, we come to be held in love, especially when we are falling apart. And here we are also invited to grow and to change and to discover new parts of ourselves and to spread our wings. So I ask you, how has this church held you in the past year? And how has this community helped you to grow? Because transformation is not just an individual journey. We come here because we need one another. We grow through our relationship, through our connections, through our interdependence with one another. Now, for me, one close encounter with a butterfly fluttering its wings can be awe-inspiring. But I imagine that a kaleidoscope of butterflies migrating towards a shared destination must be breathtaking. Now, during our Story for All Ages, we learned about the monarch migration. Every year, thousands of monarchs migrate, as many as 1 million, from southern Canada and other regions of North America to this central site in Mexico. To complete the annual cycle of migration, it takes 4 generations of butterflies. They roost in Mexico, arriving around Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, welcomed as ancestors. in the beginning of November, and they rest there until March. And then in the spring, they emerge, fluttering their vibrant orange wings, making their way back home. And I keep thinking, if one butterfly fluttering its wings can change the weather on the other side of the planet, what happens when thousands of them wake up all at the same time and start fluttering together? What kind of change is possible? What if we, the members and friends of this beloved community, learned how to move together towards a shared destination, towards the fulfillment of our mission to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world? How might the collective fluttering of our wings transform us and the communities that we are part of? As I've been working on this sermon, I've been getting in touch with what I think of as butterfly wisdom that I'm carrying with me that I want to share with you. Change is vulnerable. How did it feel to be inside that chrysalis, everything you knew about yourself turning to goo, not knowing what will happen next? Times of transition can be deeply uncomfortable. And right now it feels like so much that we love is literally being dismantled and taken apart. It's not our own bodies, but it feels like it because we're connected and we're part of one another. We don't know where we will end up, and it is a vulnerable time. So I say it, and I've said it before, but I say it again. Please be gentle with yourselves and each other. As gentle as you would be if a butterfly landed in your hands with its fragile wings. Practice self-care and community care, and may we learn as a community to serve as a chrysalis, a space to nurture us and protect us and care for us in this time of change. 4 generations. 4. We are not the beginning, and we are not the end. It takes 4 generations of butterflies to complete one annual cycle of migration. Those that make this long journey to Mexico and roost there only get to start the journey home. They then find somewhere where they can lay their eggs, and the next generation is born, and it goes a little bit further, and they lay their eggs, and then they go a little bit further. If any part of that cycle gets disrupted, they don't make it home. Similarly, we are connected to a long line of ancestors who struggled before us for justice. They've brought us to this place and to this moment. Without any one of them, some of us might not be here. And so we struggle, not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. Trust your inner knowing. The caterpillar that enters the chrysalis has no idea that it will become a butterfly. But deep within its DNA, the caterpillar has something called imaginal cells that holds both the knowledge of these 2 different bodies. It knows how to be a caterpillar, and it knows how to be a butterfly. I think similarly, the butterflies that migrate are headed to somewhere they've never been before. They have no map, they've never been there. They travel thousands of miles. And what scientists find is not only do they often find themselves in the same mountainside as their ancestors, but sometimes they roost in exactly the same tree. How did they know? How did they get there? I believe there's an inner knowing, right, that guides the butterfly's transformation and their migration. But I don't think they're alone in that. I think we also have an inner knowing and an inner wisdom that we have to cultivate a relationship with. To learn to trust a deeper part of ourselves that I think will help us through. We find our way together. Although the monarchs may not start the journey together, As they get closer to their destination, they start to join up with one another, forming this overhead current of orange and black, traveling over the Rio Grande from Texas into Mexico. Now, I imagine that would be amazing. I'd love to see it one day. But I had this experience yesterday that reminded me so much of it. I show up at the Climate March in downtown San Diego, and all over there are people holding butterflies. And as they join into the stream of folks who are marching, I'm watching this migration of thousands of people who want to protect the planet, holding these butterflies. And I just think about not just yesterday, but all the people who are flooding into the streets and demonstrations all over the country, united by a shared sense of values and a shared sense of purpose. We find our way together, friends. I also love the story of Fred Urquhart, who from the time he was a young man just had this niggling need to know, right? To know about this mystery of the monarchs and where they went in winter. For 10 years, he tried to figure it out by himself. His wife, Nora Patterson, says, maybe we need to ask for some help. Maybe we need a little help here. And so they put these articles in the newspaper. And soon there are teachers and there's children and there's community members who are all learning how to be citizen scientists. It takes 50 years for them to figure it out. But after 50 years together, they uncovered this mystery. We don't have to go it alone, friends. We can help each other, and actually we must help each other. We help each other to learn and to grow, and we are so much more powerful together. And finally, small actions ripple out. I continue to be captivated by the idea that the flapping of a butterfly's wings can change the weather on the other side of the planet. How can we live so that the ripples from us send out these currents of love and currents of justice and currents of liberation and currents and dreams of the thriving for all beings? What actions can we take every day that allow us to embody this kind of world, the world we want for ourselves and for generations to come? After visiting the butterfly jungle last year, Lucas, my child who is 6, was desperate to witness the entire process that caterpillars go through from start to finish. So after doing some research about the ethics of at-home butterfly kits, we sent away to the best one that we could find, and we got a few caterpillars in the mail. Each day, we watched them feed and grow and watch them get big and plump until one day, one by one, they attached themselves to the enclosure and they nestled into their chrysalises. We actually watched their bodies wiggle as it started to harden. And we waited. We watched every day, hoping to see one emerge. One morning we woke up and there was a small painted lady butterfly in the enclosure, just starting to stretch its wings. But the most amazing thing came the next day. Josh was walking past the enclosure, and out of the corner of his eye, he sees the one butterfly that has emerged gently brush its wings against 2 of the chrysalis. And as it did, the chrysalis opened, both of them. And out came both butterflies, starting to stretch its wings. And it was like it was saying, "Wake up, dear friend. It's time to wake up." Now, Lucas and I were envious that we had not witnessed this moment of magic. But because Josh shared it, it stayed with me. And it reminds me, we wake up, we grow, we transform together. May it be so.
Please rise in body or spirit and join us for our closing hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life.
May we say yes to life, yes to truth, and yes to love. May we remember that we are connected and that we are powerful. From the heart of this community, may an infinite number of loving actions ripple outward in service of transformation and healing and justice. Blessed be and go in love, friends.